Welcome to How Can She Snap, the Marvel Snap podcast, catered to the filthy casual, of course. And as always, I'm with my bro, Mr.
No big deal.
Yeah, I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros. You can find us on YouTube and where all podcasts are available. This week, we had a lot shaking the meta. It was pretty awesome week to play Marvel Snap. Today, we're going to be talking about the meta. We're going to be talking about the new OTA changes from last week. We're also going to be talking about our week with High EVO, what we think are the winners, the losers, which cards we enjoyed playing with. We're also going to be talking about the new card that came out, Living Tribunal. And also, we're going to talk about what the worst and best OTA changes in the month of May are, since those are kind of coming to an end at the the schedule they have now. Also, we're going to go over some of the locations they removed and what the Super Snap Bros think they can do better when they rework them. All this and more. Let's get it. The kid. All right, no big deal. 1 week into High EVO season. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I played a ton last week, and I think I played the least amount of snap that I've played since downloading the game in late December than I did it last week. I even wasn't doing daily missions. I'd left them alone. But the times I have played, I've had a lot of fun, and I think High Evo's really fun and cool card, and I love trying them out in a ton of different builds.
Yeah, you just you had that grind get to you last week, huh? You got infinite, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's
There's
playing in
nothing to play
Infinite,
for.
man, it's a clown show. Like, it doesn't even feel
What's
like
it?
you're playing a game.
What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Like Wong Black Panther. It's a total. And luckily, I've had Arrow and some decks, and
Yeah,
just a lot. You know what's nice about Infinite though? There's a lot of emotes.
yeah.
It's like the emote spam is phenomenal. Like, everybody's down to just totally talk shit during the game. So I love that about it. Like, every move,
Well,
like Deadpool, that was stupid.
yeah,
Is great. So
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I haven't really been
yeah,
on too much of a grind. I think I'm at 95 now. I got 4 more days left. We'll see
we're
what
getting there. We're
happens,
getting there,
but
baby.
we're getting there.
Mhm.
I did tank my rank down to about 84 earlier on in the week, just dicking
Oh,
around with stupid decks, and then started. I really wanted to get back into Thanos, and I looked at Lambie series, who's the Thanos god.
yeah.
Um,
That's all he does is
he
play
was,
Thanos.
yeah, he was, and he's like professional. He was
Mhm,
playing this Thanos deck,
mhm,
which he kind of catered to High Evolutionary after he came out. It's Wasp, Lockjaw, Killmonger, Wave, High Evo, Devil Dino, Leech, Doctor Doom, Chavez, Thanos, Hulk, and Magneto. Really fun deck. High variance deck, so you got to snap aggressively and leave aggressively. This deck, basically, the way he explains it is you got to basically check your ego at the door, and if you don't have a good hand, just leave. You know, or if someone
mhm,
snaps, just leave. Don't stay and don't. It's fine. And I was doing that because I never usually play like that.
mhm,
And the amount of 4 and 8 cube wins, I sent you some screenshots.
mhm.
It's ridiculous. You just get, and then I sometimes snap, and then I get kind of screwed by a location or something happens, and I'll leave with 2 cubes. It's not a big deal. Um, and sometimes you get the old Thanos snap emote
Yeah,
if you snap and then leave.
yeah. The
But
classic.
this deck has been
On
great.
brand.
So I climbed up a little bit with this from the 84, scrounging my way. And then there was the Dark Dimension, which was the hot location.
Mhm.
So I think it's called Dark Dimension, the one where all
Yep,
the
yep,
cards, the one that's basically Invisible Woman
yeah.
in a location.
The
So then
location.
this wasn't good for that, obviously. So then I started playing Gila, and that was fun because then I played Invisible Woman in Gila with the
Mhm.
Modoc. Let me see if I have the deck. I don't know if I deleted it or not. Oh, I still have it here. Yeah, Sunspot, Ebony, Invisible Woman. Oh, I threw in Crystal because I just wanted the combo better. The Crystal was great. Actually, I loved it.
You're so sick. That it's such an interesting card, actually. Now
Yeah,
I'm
because
dicking around with her a bit too, and she feels pretty good.
I didn't care if they drew a card because I was just looking for the Gila combo, which doesn't lose
Yeah,
basically, right?
yeah,
High
exactly.
Evo, Hell Cow, Atuma, because you can just throw in Dark Dimension. or the Invisible Woman. Doesn't die at
Oh
the end.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yep.
spicy.
So if
Yeah.
you don't draw the Gila, you just get 10 points there with Ebony Maw. I found
Mhm,
sometimes I played Gila, if I didn't find Gila, I'd have Ebony
mhm.
Maw and Atuma with Invisible Woman. That's just like 20 points. Or just Ebony
Yeah.
Maw and Atuma in the Dream Dimension is 17 points.
Mhm.
They would just win the lane themselves.
Yeah, for
Then
cheap
you
too.
could,
You barely spend any
yeah,
power for that. Yeah.
yeah. Then you slam the Hulk, who's a 620, and then you
Mhm.
just win 2 lanes.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty
So
cool.
this Yeah, this was a fun deck. Obviously, it's just so inconsistent, like horribly inconsistent. But the Dream Dimension made it way more consistent because you can hide your
A
combo
lot more
better.
consistent. Yeah, like
Yeah,
twice as consistent almost. That's crazy. I didn't play on this day, but having 2 invisible women's, I
yeah,
think the
wild.
invisible woman version of Hela is kind of bad in my opinion. It's so specific. Like it's right up there with Wong Black Panther combo, I think, because
Yeah,
it's just such you need such specific line of cards. But God, if you
yeah,
have 2 invisible womans, it's unbelievable. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the best deck in the game with just 2 invisible womans. That like
yeah.
like,
Well,
come on, that's nuts.
it
Yeah,
isn't. It was nuts. I'm just trying. I
yeah.
was trying to. That's why Crystal was so good because Crystal's
Mhm.
great. You get your combo way more often. And
Yeah.
there's obviously a lot of people playing Gila too. So
Mhm.
there was a lot of like 4 to 8 cubers where we both just everyone pounds and we just let our Gilas
Fireworks.
go off. Yeah,
Yeah, the
we just like
fireworks.
whoever gets it,
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So there was a lot of that fun. It was kind of like ego in a way, like where there was an unspoken rule where like we're both gonna
Yeah.
let our Gilas go off if we both have the combo.
Well, if you got the
And then
combo, you gotta stay, right?
yeah,
Or else what
yeah,
are you
like
doing, right? Yeah.
yeah, everyone knows like that. Each person knew that everyone had the combo. And there'd be
That's
games where
funny.
like people wouldn't have the combo and then they leave, or I wouldn't get it and I would just leave. They snapped,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Even though I hate these stupid hot locations because I just wanted to play. I didn't want to play Gila, but like I did end up having a lot of fun. Um, so then yeah, that I used to climb. I think like 2, 3, or 4 ranks. I think then I ended up at like 87, 88 around there. And then I started playing the Thanos again. I worked my way up to I think I didn't play that much, but I think I worked my way up to like 89, 90ish around there. And then there was the other hot location, the new location, which was ended last night. So it was like yesterday. It was a deep space, I think it's called, where like all card
Leech
texts are like,
it's just leech on a space, right? Basically.
yeah, only the text still remains there. The text just doesn't work, so they don't get buffed by Patriot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like leech
Oh,
cards, when
what
they get leached, they're like you
leech
can still
does,
be
yeah.
buffed.
Leech does.
Yeah. So it's
Mhm,
just like I don't know.
mhm.
I can't think of if it's like a card, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like its
leech,
own
but they don't
thing.
get
Yeah, that would be its own thing then,
Patriot
yeah.
buffs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was it's good to see them have a location that you can actually play your cards into.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Mhm.
So I didn't mind this one. I still had a lot of fun. So I played Patriot, and I don't think we talked about this since last podcast, but I definitely right after the last podcast, I think after we talked about the lad and stuff, I got so like I got such FOMO and I just got the lad. So
Yeah.
I've been playing. I played a bunch with him too. Actually, I think I put him in some really stupid decks, and that was part of my demise as well. Just doing stupid things with him, and it was hilarious. Just
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah. He's gotta have the right
Um,
deck for sure.
yeah. So then for the deep space, I played this Lad Patriot deck, which is like great. And the ones going around don't they cut Ultron, but I put Ultron back in because he's perfect for that deep space. You have your buffs
Mhm,
and you throw him, and you get all the little Ultron bots in there
mhm.
in the deep space, and it works out really nicely. Because
Yeah, you're
Brood
gonna
won't
beat
proc and
basically
stuff.
anything because yeah, they're not just
Yeah.
gonna play vanilla, like, they're gonna play, like, Infinite, they're gonna skip and play Infinite, so,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
surprised. There was a few people that did not respect Ultron, when I was playing this deck,
Almost
that,
nobody
like,
plays them anymore. Nobody
I
plays
just won,
Ultron
like,
anymore.
I just won so many cubes where I'm like, I'd really, like I snapped and, like, I was pretty far I was, like, ahead and, like, I'm like, "Well, how the hell are they gonna win?" And, like, I did the math on, like, everything I could a few times, and I'm like, "There's just no way they win," and, like, I just
Yeah,
slam
they're
Ultron,
they're
and I'm
assuming you
like
have Doctor Doom or something, like, you got Doctor Doom or
yeah,
Iron Man basically, or
yeah,
Abomination or something, and 'cause
yeah,
nobody really plays Ultron anymore, so, uh,
yeah,
if Ultron's a surprise card, I mean, that's like auto win. He's just so powerful, like, so
yeah. What was that screenshot I sent you? Was it yesterday? I think I was playing Patriot, where I think I got
Let me
Enchantress. My Patriot got Enchantress,
mhm,
and my Ultron I had priority, and he played Killmonger at the end, and I still won.
mhm,
That was
so
wild.
this
I can't
one
believe I won that
was
game. I got Enchantress and Ultron got Killmongered, all the little bots. I still won the
oh,
game.
here it is. Yeah. Yeah, you have this so you have this Iron Lad in the middle who's
Yeah,
just losing 6 to 10.
yeah,
And then on the right side, you got Brood on Muir Island, but it's
yeah.
buffed by Patriot, so that's sick. So that one you won by 1.
No, it's
And
not
then
buffed by Patriot. My Patriot got
oh, your
Enchantress.
Patriot got yeah, so he's got Lockjaw, Thor, and Shang-Chi. So you went 18 to 17. Oh god, you won on by 1 on the
Yeah,
both sides.
yeah. He
Oh,
Killmongered all my bots, and he
yeah.
Enchantress my Patriot on the last turn, I think, because I think he had a Zabu out. Or maybe the
This is
Enchantress was
insane.
turn 5 or something. Yeah, I was like, "How the hell did I win that?" That was, like, so wild. I'm like,
He
that's
must
when
have
I'm like,
did
"Oh my god."
turn 6 Jane Foster is what it looks like because he didn't play his Mjolnir. Uh, so yeah, that's hilarious.
No,
Oh
he
my
he
gosh.
Killmongered. He Killmongered turn 6 after my
Okay, that
Ultron.
makes sense. Yeah, you got to do that against Ultron, I guess. But that's hilarious
Yeah.
that you won anyway.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I was like, I saw the Killmonger, I'm like, "Oh, I lost, whatever." And then I saw that I
I
won, I'm like, "What the hell?"
I think because you're showing these the kind of Thanos lockjaw decks. I know we I don't say we. I definitely trash Second Dinner a lot on a lot of their stuff. I like to
Yeah,
talk a lot of shit just in general. Um,
yeah.
I think the lockjaw change was really good. I think they kind of nailed that one.
I love it.
Playing lockjaw feels really good still.
Yeah,
It still feels like a strong card, but it doesn't feel like as bullshit as it was before, where you could just go absolutely crazy and just
yeah,
load up or like last turn, like just throw a bunch of cards in a lockjaw and like we're gonna see what happens.
yeah,
Um, I like the change a lot. It feels like a lot less variance in the card, you know,
yeah.
like a little bit more honest playing the card, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's like,
Yeah.
I love it because I think it's like more of a, I guess, I don't know if this is the right word, but maybe higher skill cap in that you have to think. You can't just throw 5 things that cost 0 in there and be like, "Oh, it's all," you actually have to
Yeah,
think, and then
you gotta plan out your turns, exactly, yeah, so maybe on turn 4, you instead of playing just, turn 4, you play the 4, turn 5, play the 5, you gotta kinda, "Okay, maybe I'll put a 1 here, a 4 here," because I do wanna play in the lockjaw lane, because
yeah.
I can only proc once every turn, so,
And it's nice
um,
sometimes in the
yeah,
lockjaw lane if you get like bad rolls that like
mhm.
maybe on turn 6 you want to put a 1 drop in there and then throw a double dino, or throw a
Yeah, like
wasp and
wa
then
or
put a
wa
and then
wasp
put a 6
dino or
drop.
something, yeah.
And then
Mhm.
that 6 drop is gonna
Yeah,
stick. Now, I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
There
it's pretty
was
cool.
more times that I wanted that scenario than I'm like, let me just throw 3 things in the lockjaw lane and see what happens.
Oh, not for me. For me, I always wanna just throw 3 and then see what happens.
I mean, it's fun to
It
do
would
that, but I
yeah,
like the thinking part of
yeah.
it more.
Yeah, exactly. It's more brain dead for sure to just throw 3 and see what happens, and it's kinda more
Yeah.
bullshit for your opponent. Like, it's not fun to play against if they just
Yeah, yeah,
roll
yeah.
like crazy and you're just like, "Well, great, Giganto, Infinite, Doom, Doctor Doom, okay, whatever." You know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so I thought that was a really good change, and, the card still feels really strong.
Yeah. No, I like him,
Mhm,
especially in Thanos. He's like doing I really like it a lot.
mhm,
I'm having a lot of fun.
yeah,
I tried this Evo control list. There's what is it? Wasp, Sunspot, Nebula, Misty Knight. There people are playing Jeff instead of Goose. I played Goose for more control. Luke Cage,
mhm.
Storm. I had the sick nullified Storm variant. I saw in the
Whoa,
shop, and I had to do it. I had to
that's
do it.
beautiful.
It
Yeah, I
was
don't have
so
a storm
sick.
variant yet.
I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
dude. I think I only had the Savage Land one from the
Mhm.
season pass.
Oh, yeah, I don't count that.
Zabu.
Those are shit. The Zabu ones, I don't even
Yeah.
use it. I have the default on both because they suck.
Yeah, me too. Me too. This one's
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, I'll never get one." And I don't even wanna upgrade her because I like the red border and I like
Yeah,
the background.
that looks beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
clean.
so yeah, then Cyclops, Spider-Man, High Evo, Doctor Doom, Hulk. Um,
Mhm.
the more I see these control lists, the more sad I am that I don't have Jeff. I
Yeah.
really don't wanna spend 6K tokens on him, but when he drops to 3, I'm instantly buying him.
Same. I'm
because
gonna buy it at 3. Yeah.
the utility that he has, the more I play these controllers, I'm like, man, if I had Jeff here instead of Goose or whatever it is, I'm like, I would have won this game. You know, like
There's a very, legit argument that he's the best 2 drop in the whole game, like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, hmm
who's better than Jeff? Like, you used to be able to say Lizard, clearly, but nobody even really plays Lizard anymore, like, uh,
yeah.
everybody plays Jeff, you know?
It's true.
Um,
I mean, he's
I
so because
think,
he's just so much utility.
I think this Evo Control deck, like, any kind of variation of this Evo Control deck, I think is the best deck in the game right now.
Yeah,
Um
it
I don't know
looks
if that's a
good.
hot take. I haven't looked at the data.
No, no,
It
it's
feels the best. It feels like the best way to play Evo. Um,
yeah,
we talked about it last pod that wow, look at this high Evo deck. I mean, I was playing against 80% mirror matches. That's all anybody was playing. So
yeah,
it was just like the hella stuff you described, where you're both playing your hella and whatever the hell happens, lol.
yeah,
Who has Luke Cage? Oh, we both have it. Okay, let's see. You know,
mhm,
uh, but I think as it kind of evolves, you brought it up right away where I was like, oh, here's my high Evo list. I got to infinite, and then you're like, yeah, Galactus like dummies this list, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, you just lose to Galactus, like nothing you can
yeah,
do.
yeah,
I think the control version of High Evo is kind of the only one that actually has a winning matchup against Galactus. So,
yeah,
a lot like, and you can kind of trick it to counter Galactus even more if you want. Instead of a Goose, I mean Goose counters it, but you could play Daredevil. There's all kinds of interesting options there. I don't know what the perfect list is, but from the high Evo decks I've played, it's mostly what I've played in the last week and a half. I think the control list, lane lockdown, high Evo feels the strongest, and if nothing in the game changes, I'm probably going to start next season with this the list that looks something like this. I think.
it feels really good. And yeah, the
Yeah.
reason why I put Goose in was specifically because I was running into so much Galactus that I wanted
Yeah.
two things. Like I wanted Goose and I wanted Storm. And actually, the hilarious thing, I stole 4 cubes off a couple Galactus people because they snapped and I snapped back, and they
Mhm.
played Galactus into a lane where I had
Spider-Man?
uh
Or no?
no, I didn't have that. I had like more points in their Galactus already.
Mhm.
And then I just Spider-Man them and they Spider-Man me and then they had
Yeah,
to
yeah. No,
leave.
Spider-Man is a lane lockdown too.
Yeah.
And it's same thing with
It
Prof X.
was
If so
yeah,
you could change that for Prof X if you wanted. You can
yeah.
it's either way you just beat the Galactus. This deck I think is good against Galactus. This is a winning deck against
Yeah,
Galactus.
yeah, yeah,
Like
some
Galactus
people
can have
have the
like
control.
30% win rate against this deck. Like
Yeah, some
it's
people
gonna be
have the
tough.
this control with Prof X in it too, yeah.
And some
Um,
don't. I've seen the top ones I've seen
yeah,
don't have it. So they're like this. Like this looks great.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
like 3 answers to Galactus in this deck. So you kind of
just
if you have at least 2, I think you're pretty good,
just
Um,
Jeff. I think as time goes on and there's less high evo, Luke
mhm,
Cage can just start getting to be cut from these decks because he's
mhm.
not that good, I don't think. He's only good when everyone's playing high evo, you know?
I think Lizard
Uh,
or no, because Lizard would be good with Luke Cage. Sorry, so never mind. I would say
I would
Lizard
I
with
would
the
keep I
mhm,
would keep Goose in here personally, and I would
mhm.
just put Jeff instead of Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And that thing is a really cool list.
Goose is sick, and you can
Yeah,
no one's playing Goose in high Evo,
I love
so
Goose.
you can kind of cuck your opponent's Hulk potentially. If
Yeah,
you could kind of if you could see ahead of time,
yeah,
like okay, this
yeah,
is the Hulk lane, you could be like,
yeah,
nah, this is the Goose lane.
yeah,
Play your Hulk here, and then I'll overpower it with my own Hulk or
yeah,
whatever. You kind
yeah,
of control them with the Goose that way because
yeah.
basically if you're playing against another high evil player, they're playing Hulk on turn 6. It just kind of is what it is at this point.
It's true. And then you
It's
have to
always
leave
Hulk.
if you can't beat Hulk, like you have to
Yeah,
leave because like
get out. It's
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 just
always Hulk, always,
yeah.
and that's
And
okay, because God, Hulk was the
mhm.
shittiest card in the game for how long? So it is actually really nice to see him Hulk smashing
I
his way
love
to
it.
victory now. It
I
feels
love
pretty
it.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the Goose lane, Cyclops can go in there too. Cyclops can go into Storm lane or Goose lane and
Mhm.
start doing
Yeah.
work.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
Wasp gets in
Anyways,
there too. Yeah.
that's what I've been playing. And then after the deep space a little bit today, I just grinded up to almost 96 with just the. So the stones are great in this deck.
Mhm.
obviously the stones are the best, but the Killmonger is awesome because you run out of space a lot of times with the stones. So if you flip your Killmonger, um, you destroy your stones and it's just creates a lot more space for you
Mhm.
on the board. And sometimes your opponents,
Yeah, stones are wild.
they think that's like
Stones
a
just
bad
create
thing. I don't know why.
chaos.
Like sometimes people will snap after I destroy my stones, and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, why? It just helped me, and I get more space.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I got it.
Mhm. Yeah, like, you have Doctor Doom,
Yeah,
you have Doctor Doom, you
yeah.
have more stones, like, and you the ones that you're not playing are, like,
No,
the
the
ones
only
that
the
actually
only
matter in the
stones you
lanes,
really want
like
are
the
Soul
soul and,
Stone
power,
sometimes,
so,
but I'm not like really
uh,
that
those are
sad if it
the ones that
dies. But
actually
the
can
Power
swing a
Stone, if
lane,
you
so
have
you don't want, like,
Thanos,
a
you
1
want
power
that
time stone
because
sitting
you
there,
want
it's
the
basically like a
620. You want
squirrel,
him to be the
like,
big
when you
boy,
get Central Park, it's the same thing, so
I gotta
if
say
you
in
don't
this
want those
deck,
there, why would you want the
I kind of hate to
time
say
stone
it,
after
but
you played
Wave
it?
and
It's
Leech have
awesome
been
for its on
MVPs,
reveal
man.
effect.
Like turn 5, these guys, it just wrecks so many
Mhm,
decks right now.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm,
Like turn 5, like I can play Wave and then throw like a stone or something in the lockjaw lane. Like I can do both of those on turn
oh.
5. And then I'm just so far ahead and they're screwed on turn 6 because then they gotta
Well,
beat
Wave, yeah, the
fucking,
new change on Wave, it just
or
makes it
Magneto.
mega oppressive
Where
now.
I just
It's
like if it's
everyone's saying,
discard,
like,
I'm just
Wave
pulling
is the new
their
Sandman
Dracula
now,
to the
it's kinda
Morbius lane,
true, like, it's
giving
just,
up that
like,
lane and
very
dumbing.
oppressive. Yeah. Mhm, mhm,
Yeah. Oh, I did that for science.
mhm.
It doesn't work. No. I yeah,
What
I
happens
didn't
now
know.
what happens
Yeah,
now with the new
I had no
Leech
idea, and then
when
one
you
game, I'm
because
like,
I
I'm just
haven't
gonna
messed
throw him in
around
because
with
I need
this.
to know,
Leech has always
I need
been a
to know
rock
this for
star in
future
Lockjaw
reference.
decks. Um, what happens now when you play him into Lockjaw?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
I
doesn't
definitely
work. Yeah, I
lost
figured
that
it
game
wouldn't. That's
because
why
I
I
wasted
haven't
5
tried him
mana
in Lockjaw, but
doing
yeah, I
nothing
feel
with
like it
my
should,
turn.
but it's weird that it
Yeah,
doesn't. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost
yeah,
like a it's like a Dracula or like an ongoing effect or something now where it just it like has to be on the
yeah.
field now to
And
even do
and I
anything,
don't
right?
know if
So,
it's like,
um
yeah, I don't know if this is intuitive for everyone. It probably is, but just
yeah,
like
but you gotta
if
know
you have a
that though.
limbo
It's like
game, then the
because
cards stay
Leech into
leached.
Lockjaw
You
used to
know,
be an
it's at the start of
unbelievable
turn
play
6.
on turn
Whatever's in
5,
their hand gets
So
leached,
you
and
cycle it out
then
for something
that's
with
it.
some
Those stay
actual
leached,
power,
and
and
then
then
they still draw
also
on
turn all
turn
their
6.
cards
They still
off. I
draw
mean,
on
it's
turn
insane.
7, but
So, you gotta know the ability to
yeah,
do that.
even on turn 7, it's yeah, they stay leached. So it's not just turn 6. Yeah, it's at the start of turn 6. So, but yeah,
Oh,
he's like just been. I just was enjoying being a filthy
okay.
leech player. I mean, I'm surprised people listen to this podcast
So
still. I'm talking about how much
they
I
draw
love
2 more,
Galactus,
but
and
yeah,
then now I'm
yeah.
like, oh, Leech is great.
Mhm. Okay. I didn't even know that. I didn't think of that. Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
yeah, yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny, with cards like because I've been playing a lot of Arrow
it's
in the
true.
last week. I mean, she's, like, unbelievable now. The cards like Arrow, Leech, and
Yeah,
Ultron,
basically,
like you were
yeah,
saying, like, you were bringing up
yeah, basically
Ultron
turn
before,
6, like you
and these
do
are all
math for
surprise
Doom,
cards
you do
now.
math
So,
for
if
now
you play,
new
like,
Hulk,
Heimdall,
and
like, these
then
are
you
also
can do
like,
Chavez math in
nobody's
certain
ready
decks
for these
too.
cards whatsoever.
Like
Like,
discard, you got to do like
they're just
Apocalypse and
expecting, like, a
Chavez math.
Doctor Doom or a Hulk. Like, that's it. That's your turn 6 play. If you do anything other than
Yeah,
those 2 things, then,
yeah,
you could just crush people,
exactly.
and that's how you get the 8 cube win.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
that's great. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like this week has been just a lot of fun.
Well,
The
yeah,
meta is
discard
pretty
just,
fresh.
just
The
put 20
the
on
hype
their
of the high EVO
Dracula,
of the
and there's gonna
first
be some
couple
swarms
days
too,
went down
like, so
significantly. So
yeah.
it's not
But
only
it's
high Evo
no
mirrors every
nobody's ready for
second.
Ultron or
It's
Leech
there's still a good
or
amount of high
Arrow.
Evo decks, but not everyone's playing
Uh,
like the first couple days, which is
yeah,
nice.
Arrow's
It's
been
nice to see.
slapping. I mean, it's crazy. Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So yeah, we could say what are the best and the worst, or not like the worst, but like what we think are the
Well,
best,
do you
like
wanna do you wanna do that as a
overperformers and maybe
transition into,
underperformers, or
you know,
just like
what
who
we
we like
think
and who we're
of the
kind of
high
disappointed
EVO
by, maybe.
cards? I think we're
And then we
thinking
can say
about
who thinks the
which card we
worst.
think
So
is the best
for
out
me,
of
there's
the new high
two
EVO
that stood
cards.
out when I was
Um,
playing.
what do you think
Um,
about that?
I think it's two that everyone probably are
Okay.
saying, but Wasp for sure is 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 insane. Wasp is insane. A 0-3
Okay.
basically. Especially with Lockjaw, you get Wasp back,
Yep.
and it's like a 0-5 then, and it's like a 0-7 if you get it back twice.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Um any just a 0-3 in general is and just
Mhm.
nuts. Um
Yeah.
and I think this one's pretty
Yep.
obvious, but Hulk smash, oh my god.
Mhm.
And kind of like what you were just saying, I think that it's so good that we have
Yeah.
Hulk back in the meta. Like
Yeah,
he
it's nuts.
just was such an
Mhm.
iconic character. It's just so nice to see him actually Hulk smash like six
Mhm.
sixteen, 618, sometimes 620 on the board. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
insane.
it's so good to see. And it's like just to have him win a lane on his own, you're like, oh man, I gotta count for like 20 power on this on like the one lane. Can I beat that? It's like it's
Mhm.
crazy. So yeah, I think Hulk's definitely the winner of
It
this,
was only
high
She-Hulk,
Evo out
and
of all of
She-Hulk's
them.
like 9 or
But I
10, you
think
know?
Wasp is amazing too. Who are your pick for
Mhm.
good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Wasp is
Yeah.
insane. Wasp is insane. Yeah. I didn't
I
I
agree
didn't
with
think you were gonna say that
literally
before. You're
everything
like,
you
I have a
said.
hot take for the. I'm
I've
like,
heard
okay.
a lot of
I have two
people,
that I think are insane.
um,
But yeah,
a lot
Wasp
of the
is
content
sick.
creators. I've seen some tier lists, and everybody has Hulk as
Yeah,
the S tier card. I
yeah,
think that Wasp is the best card
yeah,
out of all of these cards.
yeah,
Wasp is unbelievable in this deck. Only
yeah,
hot take based on all I've seen like 2 or 3 tier list videos of the high Evo cards. Everybody has Hulk as number 1. I think Hulk's the second
yeah,
best, and I think Wasp is the best card. Only reason I think Hulk is the second best is because it's kinda like, well, predictable like we said, and it's only 1 lane. So imagine like you're playing this Shuri Red Skull deck, but there's no armor, there's no
yeah,
Cosmo to protect, right? So there's a lot of counterplay available
yeah,
to Hulk, like Shang-Chi, Arrow, or just play more power, like whatever. Like you kind of know
yeah,
where the Hulk's gonna go, and you can play around it. But this Wasp card is just absurd. It's absolutely crazy, and
yeah,
it enables your other cards and if you are playing a bomb, you
yeah,
play a wasp into turn 3 abomination, 3/9, a
yeah,
0/3 and a 3/9. There you go. I just spent 3 power and I just spent 3 energy and I generated 12 power.
yeah.
Like
And
it's and you don't even
I
need the
think
abomination. You
even
can just play the wasp.
yeah, I
Like
think
it doesn't even
even
matter.
on
Like
reveal
it's because
decks
it's so
as well.
ridiculous.
Like if
So
you have an
I don't know.
Odin,
I think
like it's
wasp
just
is like
another
super broken.
minus two to them.
I'm not saying they should nerf it. I'm just saying this feels like the best. It's
And it's
just
like this is
always
zero
good.
power. It's just
If you
it's
play
great.
high Evo
It's a really
deck,
good card. Yeah.
you
No, I
have to
agree
include
100%.
Wasp, in my
Wasp
opinion.
and
I think no
you
matter what.
know,
I don't care what
uh
deck you're playing.
it
High
doesn't
Evo,
sometimes like the
put
big
Wasp in.
cards like
And then
Hulk
you can go from
just
there.
feel better because they're way more impactful. Like these six, Hulk smash like a
Yeah.
620. It just feels great. You sometimes forget about the little guy who's
Yeah.
like a
The fact
zero
that it's
power,
2 is
like,
crazy. Yeah.
it's just only zero, but it's like it's a great card.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, exactly. It's sick. Yeah, you can just combo. Yeah, you
Mhm.
combo with her. So the ones a little
Yeah.
disappointed with or haven't really, whatever. Misty
Mhm.
Knight, I think, is okay. Not saying she's bad by any means, but I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, this
It's
card seems
Shocker. I
crazy.
still
And you can
think
play it
in a
with the
few
Hulk on turn
weeks, I
6. You
still
can hold
think
it and
that
just play it
once
on
all the
turn
high
6.
Evo stuff settles down, maybe
Just
we get some
just
new I
peekaboo,
still think Shocker is
You
gonna
draw it
be
later.
good.
Yeah.
I haven't
Mhm.
seen him. be that good, or he hasn't been that good for me this week. I haven't found the right place for
Yeah,
him. I've been playing other decks, but I still think
I
he's
agree.
good.
Yeah.
But I guess he's one that kind of like I was like, I never wanted to play him really. But I think Misty Knight for
Mhm,
me is the main one. And I will admit that last week I was wrong. I said
mhm,
I was saying I don't think Cyclops. I think I made him not stonks. He's good. And I thought that like 3 would have been a little too much, and if you draw him late, then he's not that. But for the controls,
mhm.
especially, you put him in a goose lane, you put him in a
Yeah.
storm lane, and you set it and forget it, and he's just like shooting them down every turn, and then you can't play cards. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. Oh, he's nuts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cyclops. Yeah, I will say I was wrong.
Feels like he's just like a
Cyclops,
3/8,
I think is good.
It's kinda like he's like a
But yeah,
3/8,
so my pick would be Misty
in the
Knight.
same sense where
And
Sunspot
then
used to just feel like he was like a
Abomination
1/6,
I was a little disappointed with, but I
Uh,
think
it's like, yeah, they
only
got Sunspot,
because
but this is basically a 1/6, This guy's like
I
he's
think
pretty much a
that's
3/8,
only
like, this is what he is,
because everybody's playing Luke Cage.
You're
So
gonna skip
like
twice.
nobody can play a bomb. In a couple weeks, I
Yeah.
think a bomb's gonna be really good because people will be playing high Evo decks. Yeah. Yeah. Like in a month from now, he's gonna be insane in high Evo
Yeah.
decks because
He's
not
definitely worse
everybody
than
in the
he's
meta
worse
is
than
gonna
I
be
thought
teching Luke
sure.
Cage.
For sure, he's worse than I thought he
Luke
was.
Cage, I don't even think is that good. Yeah. Who do you
Luke
think?
Cage, yeah. Mhm.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
fine.
he's if you're playing someone who doesn't have Luke Cage in their deck, he's insane. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, I I think it's,
Yeah.
I think it's Shocker,
Yeah.
and I mean, we'll get to this later, but, I think, I feel the same way about Shocker as I do about Living Tribunal. Um, I'm just kinda waiting to see it,
Yeah.
I could see the potential. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
tried to put him in a few decks and it hasn't felt great, but sometimes it's unreal. Like you get like 1 in 10 games where you're like, "Oh." Like I was playing one where I hit like a
Yeah.
Spider Woman, or one time I hit Sarah and then I played turn 4 Sarah and it was just like boom, Shocker just won me the game, but it doesn't feel like it's happening too often. So, we'll see. I don't know. Even like you were bringing up Lambie before, he was messing around with Shocker and a couple of his builds because like high roll kind of builds. So you play these, big cards on 4 and stuff. So, it's interesting. I haven't found too much success
So
with the card.
Shocker's your pick for the worst one.
I
For
wasn't
me, he's a
expecting too
question
much
mark.
out of him, and I'm still
I
kind
don't
of
think he's found the right home
waiting to
yet,
see
but I
it
think
with
he
him.
will. Just I think
But
just
yeah, I kind of like Misty Knight.
I
I
think
don't
just
think she
cost
belongs in
reduction.
every
Yeah, I
high
think just
Evo
cost
deck, but I
reduction in
think she's
card
kind of
games
good.
is just too powerful of an effect.
Yeah,
The
Cyclops
only
and
I
Misty
guess
Knight,
issue with
I
them
think
is if
are
you
like
draw high
similar. Like they're
Evo
both pretty
early,
good. And
you're
then
just gonna
yeah,
just the 4/4
I'm
is
waiting
so
for
bad.
Shocker.
But these cards are so good that it makes up for it. So
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, he might be
yeah,
cracked in the right deck. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I'm definitely.
exactly.
Mhm,
So those are mine. Yeah, yeah,
mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
that was the
Just
biggest
or
nerf on
just
him for sure. Was
Cyclops,
the
OG
the the
Cyclops.
high evo
Yeah, it's
to 4
crazy.
power from 7.
Um,
If it was 7, the Shocker would be way better.
yeah. So those are the high
The
evil winners
3/7
and
is great. You got
losers.
it's a
You
Maximus
want
and
to
they
talk
don't draw
about
cards.
the
So
OTA
that's a
changes
that's
from
the
last week we
3/7
didn't get
thanks to
into,
Shocker. But now
and
it's
how
just a
we've kind of
3/4,
been,
so it's like a kingpin with no
seeing
effect.
those. Because they're
Such a big
they're I
difference.
think this is the last
Yeah.
OTA change
Yeah, oh yeah, Cyclops with no
of their.
Patriot, exactly. Mhm. Sure, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, man. Sounds good. Mhm.
Old schedule anyway. So the Black Bolt deck got hit with the Nerf hammer pretty hard. I won't read all the stuff, but we'll
Mhm.
kind of just go
Yeah.
through a little bit. Black Bolt old was 5/8, new is 5/7. So they took a power off him. I do want to read what the dev said about about Black Bolt actually. He said Black Bolt ascended to the top of our individual card leaderboards a couple weeks ago and has remained there unchallenged ever since. Like, can you like 2 months ago? I was like, this
Yeah,
card's so bad.
the the text on these two cards was the most interesting thing to me because I didn't find them too broken.
Yeah,
Um, but they basically said, "Hey, we have the numbers. These
yeah,
cards are Shuri and Thanos level broken."
yeah.
Uh,
So he said,
bi-
yeah,
what? Yeah, like they
they're
have
the
basically 60% win rate. Like and they've been like that the entire time ever
the
since somebody
top
came up with that deck.
the top of our individual card leaderboard a couple weeks ago and has
Yeah,
remained there unchallenged ever since with a frankly shocking average number of cubes won per game when drawn.
yeah.
And then
So
yeah,
I thought
that
that was
was
super interesting because I figured if they were gonna hit this deck, maybe hit one of the other cards. Like,
yeah.
doesn't Jeff feel like the most broken card in the deck? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, not Jeff could probably be a 2/2. Like, I don't know. I don't want to call for that. People just spent
No,
6K tokens on it, and
it's
I
fine.
don't care playing against it. But
He's fine.
I
He's
thought he was
fine.
probably the best card in the deck. But
No, it's
you
Black
know,
Bolt.
yeah. But according to
Furthermore,
their numbers, it's clearly Black Bolt. So
yeah, the deck
that's
he was
super
fielding has
interesting.
also been quietly outperforming the field by a margin as high as Shuri or Thanos in their prime. Two of the
Yeah,
most oppressive decks we've seen ever. So yeah, had almost no bad matchups. So
yeah.
they nerfed him and then they nerfed Stature from a
Mhm.
5/7 to a 5/6, which I think is a little harsh, but for Stature, but we'll see.
To
Um,
me to me, it was I kinda like the stature one when I first read it, I like the stature one better. I
mhm,
thought that because she's one cost card, right?
yeah.
So, one
Well,
seven is
only
pretty crazy.
yeah,
So, I figured stature would because the deck's kind of built around stature, right? Like Black
yeah,
Bolt, we had Black Bolt in Marvel Snap for a really long time, did absolutely nothing. So
yeah,
we know Black Bolt on his own is not broken. But now that the second stature dropped to Series 4,
yeah,
this deck popped up, and then everybody picked it up. I think if a stature was 6K tokens, we wouldn't have had this deck like run the meta for so long, right? People aren't going to spend 6K
yeah,
on stature, but
yeah,
the 3K they'll happily spend it to get to infinite, and it works. So I thought that's pretty crazy. I at first didn't like that they were doing these nerfs, but after reading the text, I'm like, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. And
yeah.
hey, if the top deck is that crazy by that crazy of a margin, then you kind of have no choice. You have to hit it.
Yeah, and again, I need to just reiterate this. The
Mhm,
communication Second Dinner has is like
mhm,
second to none.
mhm,
I don't know a game where the devs have ever had this much communication explaining stuff all the time and why they're doing what they're doing to their player base. Usually they just
mhm.
do it and don't give a shit about us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, any game I've
They're
played
like,
has been like
"Oh,
that, yeah.
oh, he was this one was too strong, so we nerfed it." And like no
Mhm,
explanation why.
mhm,
So I love this line too. This one for Black Bolt. This one wasn't on
mhm.
any of our bingo cards to start the year, but here we
Yeah,
are.
no bingo card. Ugh,
So yeah, I guess we'll see what
that's
happens. I
great.
saw this deck only a couple times, but it seems to have fallen off. I haven't seen too much of it after these nerfs.
Supposedly, it's pretty good still. Supposedly,
It
the win
probably
rates are still pretty good on it, and I
it,
guess it's, like,
it,
still a pretty good deck, but people wanna play with EVO and stuff, right? They don't wanna play this shit, so I think they're
yeah,
tired of playing it already.
it probably is still pretty good. But I mean, when you have
Yeah.
Stature, Black Bolt, and Miles Morales in a lane, and the Hulk just beats the three of them,
Yeah, true. True.
you know, what
That's
is that?
funny.
13 plus 5, 18. Yeah, the Hulk can still be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not enough.
um,
That's not gonna get it done against the Incredible
yeah, the
Hulk.
boy.
Especially if they
Um,
get reduced a little bit too, then it's like, come on.
yeah, Hulk Wasp done.
Mhm. Yeah.
Negasonic they changed. Old was a 3/4, new is a 3/5. So not a huge difference. And they said this change won't make a huge difference. The card gets destroyed anyway. So I guess if you're playing like null or something, the one power
I mean,
might
I
do
don't I
something.
don't have this card, so maybe I'm just kind of theory crafty, whatever. But this seems like a pretty cool change to me. I mean, everyone's saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, it doesn't matter, it dies anyway." But if you're playing Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I think
Hmm.
you need priority with this card. Like, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, because if they flip their card first, then your Negasonic flips over, it does nothing.
Yep.
So I think you need prio. So 5 power. helps kind of get you prio. Well, no, wait, then it'd be on the
Yeah,
same turn anyway.
yeah.
Let's say they have prio, and then your Negasonic flips over. At least you're adding 5 power to the lane. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
think the
yeah,
one thing this one power might do is maybe people will want to play stuff in the lane to destroy it because that extra power will be maybe it will be
yeah.
significant, like a
I think it
Polaris,
does
you
make
know?
a difference. Yeah.
Because
So,
like if you see
uh,
a Polaris in the lane or you see a Cyclops in the lane, like you're way more nervous about the Polaris. You're like, wow, that one power actually makes a difference on a 3 cost.
yeah, and I'm thinking
So
too,
that
if you're playing something like Silver Surfer, you know, uh,
yeah.
having a 3/5 is kind of nice.
Yeah, and it might make people wanna kamikaze their, like, Nebulas and Icemen in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I haven't seen much of it after this change, but I never really
I
did
can't be
before
mad at
anyway.
them nerfing cards that nobody plays. I think that's pretty nice. Honestly, this OTA change overall was really nice. Every change was good, I think.
Yeah, Invisible Woman, great too. 2/2,
This is
now
right
it's a
out.
2/3.
I don't know if it's
I
it's like conspiracy, but if they made the game kind of pay to win when they made Darkhawk like unaccessible. And
oh.
they put Darkhawk and Null behind a paywall, and they made the game pay to win. So like 4 days later, they put this change out, and every single change is really good here. Like this is a probably the best OTA change yet. Like this is phenomenal. Every change is great. The explanations are awesome. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a really good. I like the Invisible Woman 2/3. I think it's great. I'm actually seeing a little bit more of her, which is nice. I like seeing new cards and and be like, oh, what are they doing this with this Invisible Woman? It's not always
Yeah.
like Gila or like Patriot. Some people are doing some other stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Cerebro
it
3.
is kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That there's always Cerebral 3.
Yeah.
I'm happy with all these changes. Regarding the Darkhawk and the Null. Honestly, I was thinking about that a lot the other week.
Mm,
Um, it's honestly, if you're a newer player, it's
mm.
better that way. This is gonna be a hot take for a lot of people.
Well,
But
then
if
you
you're a
could click the
new
card. You don't have to wait in a 100 card rotation, right?
yeah, yeah.
And then hopefully you get one a month or whatever the hell it is.
And
So,
and you're
yeah.
getting a lot more they already like a month or two ago gave us a lot more tokens in the
Yeah.
reserves. So if you're a newer player, you want to have the option of buying the best cards sooner instead of having them in
Mhm,
pool 3 and having to get through 100 cards randomly before
mhm.
getting them. So like
Yeah.
I really thought about this and I'm like, you know what? Like people are trashing second dinner, pay to win, pay to win. Like, sure, it kind of is. If you're like almost on pool 3, then it sucks. But if you're
Mhm,
newer, this change is way better for you. Like if I was a newer player, I would not want Dark Hawk and buried in pool 3. I would want to have the
mhm.
option of paying 3K, getting actually a good card that I'm happy about that I can play with. That's, used in a lot of decks and not having to wait randomly. I don't know. What do you think? Is that like a hot
Yeah,
take? I guess it is a hot take from what everyone's reaction is, but like,
it's a bit of a hot take. I mean, I don't really have an actual opinion on it, but I guess to play devil's advocate, the other side to that would be like it's kind of like your battered like consumer syndrome where or copium would be what the kids would say. You're kind of coping right now. You're sniffing the copium right now in the sense of uh it's kind of a band-aid on the bigger issue, which is like
yeah.
you
Mhm.
can't like pick what pool 3 cards you get. So this doesn't make that
Yeah.
any better. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the issue is
I agree.
progressing when you first get to pool 3 for new players. We want this game to be really big. We want, new players to come in, have a really good experience on the collection track, and it's miserable. Once you get to pool 3, it's absolutely miserable, and this doesn't fix that.
No.
But at least you could get Darkhawk now where you kind of had an RNG your way to him before, and you're probably not getting them. Just from my experience, you generally just don't get the cards you want. So,
Yeah.
and they took
I
away the token shop where you can actually pick a card every 8 hours. Even there, you had some control over what cards you were getting, and
yeah.
they took that away, and now here's a permanent 3K Darkhawk. So it's it's not great.
No.
It's
No, no, I
slightly
know.
better
And
maybe, but it's
and
overall it could be better, I think still.
yeah, and I
Would be
don't think
my
he's
devil's
permanent. I
advocate.
don't think he's permanent 3K. Like there's eventually he'll get dropped down to Pool 3 or Series 3,
Yeah.
but they're
Well,
just
like you
waiting.
said
But
when we
it's
reacted
not
to it,
good.
it
It's
would
not
be
good.
nice if they told us, like, "Hey, he's
Yeah,
coming down in 6 months," you know?
yeah. It's definitely not good.
Yeah.
But I think like
Mhm.
this game, like these changes and stuff that we just read, like they do so many things well. It's like almost like
Yeah.
the perfect game, almost in the sense that like it makes you happy in every way, except for the monetization.
Mhm.
They can do a lot better of giving. They can do a lot better job of giving players more when you're spending money and stuff.
Yeah, because
As
they
far
are
as
adding
card
new. Yeah.
acquisition.
Mhm. Yeah, because they're adding new cards, they're adding new game modes, they're making the existing game modes better, they're adding new
Yeah,
graphics. So they're doing all the cool shit correctly. And yeah, you do
yeah,
kind of take it for granted sometimes when you start to complain about card acquisition, I guess. So yeah, you're right because game is sick for sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like letting people get cards more more quickly, I guess, is
Mhm.
would be better. Or like just making the bundles and stuff better, Like that Venomized Thor and Lady Sif bundle, what a joke that was.
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
5,000 gold for that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was 5,000 gold and you get like
Mhm.
150 boosters. The variants are sick and you get
Mhm.
3,000 credits.
Mhm.
The Guardians of the Galaxy was 5,000. The Chibis of the Galaxy, that was
Yeah,
5,900 gold. So that was
mhm.
900 more gold. You got 6,500 credits
More
instead
than
of
double. Yeah,
3,000.
yeah.
And then you got three variants and then
Mhm.
155 boosters times three and three avatars, you
Mhm.
know? So it's like, what are you doing with this 5,000? I hope no,
Yeah,
I see people buy it. I'm like,
I didn't touch either of
oh,
those
I wasn't
bundles.
even, no, me either. I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of regretting it not getting the Chibis one because I wanted more
Mhm.
credits, but I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
need to spend 5,000 gold. Like
No,
I didn't
it's
like the
fine. You
variants too
got enough
much.
tokens where you could
It,
buy the cards you
I
want. Yeah.
I know it's fine, it's fine. But still, like, how do you do that? And then even in the shop at one point, there was some overlap, but they're both next to each other. I'm like, who would buy this Venomized?
Yeah.
I hope no
Yeah,
one buys it just to send a
mine had them
message.
next to each other. I'm like, "Well, clearly one of these is better." Yeah.
Yeah, like way better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they can do a better job there. But like everything else, they're crushing it, crushing it. These OTAs
Mhm.
are great. Um, since we're talking about OTAs, uh, let's talk about what we think are the best and worst OTAs of of the month of May. Because now the
Mhm.
OTAs are changing. Um, this May trial, so they're gonna go patch week, OTA week, which was last week, this week off week, OTA week again, then patch week, then OTA week, and that's just gonna be it'll be three weeks out of the month or 3 out of 4
Yeah.
weeks. They'll have a
Just in
change,
general, I
which
think this is fantastic. It's more than I expected. I thought they
me
would go to
too.
every other week.
Me too.
So, I figured they go, every other week, and I think that would be fine too, like, whatever, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, once a month is kinda stale, probably, but I think twice a month is fine. So, this is gonna be, like, 3 changes every month still. So,
Awesome.
3 changes and a bye week, basically, so it's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Love these OTA changes. It's amazing. So I think this is great. Yeah.
I'll start out, and I'll say my favorite, OTA change of May was Venom change. I liked Venom to
Oh
+2
yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, it really not I don't need to elaborate too much. I mean, he took a card that wasn't really being played even in its own archetype and made it really fun, feel pretty good, and I think, at if Galactus gets nerfed and, we have this meta kinda change a bit, um, I think we're gonna see Venom popping up more, but even if not, at least he feels really good to play now, so, I like when they take cards that are totally underplayed, that are also fun, iconic, and juice him
Yeah.
up a couple power. I thought that was an awesome change. He doesn't feel broken at all. It just feels like just a solid destroy card now, and I think that's great.
I agree with you 100%. We didn't tell each other ours. That was mine as well.
Oh
Actually,
shit!
I
Sorry.
had that's okay. I had two. No, I had two. Everything that you said,
Okay.
perfect.
Mhm,
Yeah, it's so nice because like a 3-1 felt so bad. Now he's like he's not broken.
mhm,
He's a fair card. He's good to put in your destroy decks. You feel good about playing him, and he's an
mhm.
iconic Marvel villain. So
Yeah.
you love seeing it.
Mhm.
My other one that I think was great was the collector. I loved that. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
change. Again,
Yeah.
just a small change. Just 2-1 to 2-2. and I see him a lot more now. I hardly ever saw him before. Uh,
this one I think literally made him meta relevant because he's I think the optimal kind of kitty bounce deck now, which is like a top tier deck, is
yeah,
running collector now. And if he was
it's
2-1, they straight up wouldn't run him. Like I
yeah.
guarantee you, they were not running him at a 2-1. So
So it's nice. It's
really
nice to
really
see.
interesting change. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not overpowered. He's again like
Yeah.
not a broken card. It's just nice to see cards that weren't played that much get like a little bit of love, and then they're getting played now. Those are my
Yeah,
favorites
discard
for
and
March.
the discard list too is awesome in the Modoc discard as well.
That's what I have up in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst?
Well, I mean, I did a whole rant on it when they did it.
Damn it! I think that we have the same one again.
It's gotta be Drax, man.
Yes, that's what I said too. God, it's so bad.
All I gotta say is
Oh.
they took one of the worst cards in the game. They used their time, their resources. They have to go and change the coding. They have to change the text. They have to pay somebody to analyze all of the data, and
Yeah.
they wasted their time. They made a really bad card, still a very bad card. That's all this change was. You took the card. This card was a 1 out of 10, and then they made it a 2 out of 10. Good job, guys.
I still don't see him in any of the Avengers decks. The little Avengers decks that I see on the ladder nowadays. Um or yeah. Sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy, not Avengers. Like I don't see that many Guardians decks anymore.
Mhm.
Whereas, at the beginning of the season we used to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
I The ones that I do see don't have tracks.
This
Like I
guy
still
and Groot. This guy and Groot are hot
yeah.
garbage. They're
I
just they're
see
not
Groot.
cards.
I see
Yeah.
Groot more than him.
Yeah, yeah, because at least he's a 3, maybe you could play him a Surfer or something, I don't or no, or
Yeah.
it costs 1 less committal, but yeah, those
Yeah.
cards suck. The other 3 are
Man,
interesting, but yeah.
that was mine too. Oh, I'm it's funny we have the same one. Because it's just true
Yeah.
though.
I didn't
Um
love, one that I did see, I didn't love the rock slide change, but I kinda understand it, so I didn't wanna, poo-poo on them too much for that, but,
yeah.
I don't think Rock Slide was even a little bit broken. I even on that one, kind of similar to what I was thinking with Black Bolt, where but this one they didn't even say they had the data. I think they're clearly just hitting at the Darkhawk deck. So um
Yeah.
I think you take Darkhawk, you make them a -1, or you could rework Darkhawk and give him some power and just do +1 for each card in the deck. I don't know. I mean, does he have to be the best 4 cost card in the game,
There's always gonna
or
be a
second
best
best
four cost card.
next to Shuri? Shuri was the best, but him and
Yeah.
Shuri like for all of time. I don't know.
There's always gonna be a best, but I think Darkhawk, I'm not offended by his power level right now. I think he's
No,
pretty
I'm
good.
fine with it, but but I am offended with hitting Rock Slide because of Darkhawk.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
don't
you
know.
don't why? I don't like.
I,
I'm just kind of a little bit PTSD from other games I've played where they do that. They'll
yeah,
hit the cards around the problem and they'll just leave the problem. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
a lot of people in this game are talking about, whoa, they should nerf Spider-Man because Galactus. Whoa, okay, no,
No, relax.
no, don't we don't
Yeah,
need to
no,
do
no,
that.
no.
Come on.
No.
If Spider-Man's broken, then yeah, sure. But Spider-Man's not. It's not absorbing man. Spider-Man Zabu season. He's not a broken card. Why are we hitting Spider-Man?
Yeah. One card that did see a buff and a very nice buff, who I'd like
Mhm.
to have a moment of silence for now, is our whale friend Orca. And a moment of silence only because now the
Hulk.
Hulk just
Yeah.
dummies him.
Oh no.
Without High EVO, his Hulk's better, just 612 without a stipulation. With High EVO, he's like a 620, and Orcus is a 616. And
Shout out to
has to be alone in the lane. I feel so bad for Orca.
yeah. It was a great buff. I mean, I love that
It
they
was
did it.
great. It was
Yeah.
great.
Shout out to Binks and to Alex Kocha or whatever. They were really going
Yeah,
hard on the Orca. Binks got the infinite
yeah.
with Orca list. Like
He did.
he did it on stream. It's documented. That's not like a fake thing.
Yeah,
Um, but
awesome.
Hulk wasn't out when they did that.
I know,
Now
I
Hulk
know.
is out. So
Hulk
sorry,
smash.
Orca. Back to the
I know.
depths of the ocean.
I know. Oh god. I feel so bad. Like he's just nowhere, no reason to play him. I mean, I guess there's other on. The Hulk's ongoing too. Damn it.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know.
He also doesn't need to be the only card in the lane.
Yeah, maybe there's some use cases for him.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Uh, we could also get into some of the location changes they had as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, So and then talk about what we think. So some of the location changes, I know there's some mixed reviews on these. I love it. I love
Mhm.
this. They got rid of three locations, so they're removing three of them temporarily and they're reworking them. Plunder Castle, which was only six cost cards can be played here. Milano, which I hated, and I saw people on like Discord that are like, "Oh, I love this location. It was great." It's like, no, it was not great. You can only
Mhm.
play your cards here at turn 5. Oh, it's a stupid location.
Yeah.
Just hated it. And then Sandbar, only cards with what is it? Cards with only cards without abilities can be played here. So basically a
Mhm.
Patriot. So they got rid of them. They're gonna take them back to redesign them. They said they're gonna find brand new effects to implement for each one. They'll play test them and then reintroduce them. So I love how they're doing this because I rant about this every week. I feel like on this podcast,
Mhm.
everyone's probably getting sick of hearing it. Um,
Mhm.
that like I just these oppressive locations that I can't play cards in, it just ruined the experience. Honestly, once in a while is fine, and it makes you think and stuff, and I like that. That's good. Like all
Mhm.
the time, terrible. What do you think of this?
Yeah.
Getting rid of these?
Yeah, it's not fun playing locations where you can't play cards, or
No.
or you can't play the game. Even the new hot one where they removes the text to your cards, I think it kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
uh, you know, it, it's
At
just
least you
power.
can play. At least you can
Yeah,
play your
at
cards
least you could
there.
play it. I mean, I don't mind it that one if it's infrequent. Like, once they
Yeah.
take it off the hot location.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, these are not fun. I think on the if we're brainstorming some changes, you could
Yeah.
always add like a number, maybe like, so maybe Milano's turn 4 and 5, and then because the turn thing, they have locations where, okay, all cards must be played here on turn 5, like that's already another location, right?
Yeah.
uh or like, pet, what's a pet smart or whatever, the one's like pet
Yeah.
smart where you have to play there on that turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they have one that's, if you're 4, 5, or 6 cost, you can't play here, or if you're 1, 2, or 3 cost, you can't play here. I think those are fine. So this one,
Yeah.
the Milano one's kind of an interesting idea where it's just a turn. It's kind of unique. So I think if you maybe made it like just turn 4 and 5, um, that might be okay. Or turn 4, 5, 6 only, something like that. You know, I think would be fine.
Yeah.
And same with Plunder Castle. Maybe if it was 5 and 6 cost cards, instead of just 6 cost cards, I think that's fine too.
So in my head, since I hate oppressiveness, I've just
Mhm.
completely reworked all of them in my head.
Mhm. Okay.
So I think so. Milano, yeah, if it's 4, 5, and 6, I don't think I'd be that mad about that. If it's the last three turns of
Yeah.
the game, I wouldn't be that mad about that because at least you can play
Mhm.
them. I think if it was just 4 and 5, I wouldn't like that. So Milano is the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship, I believe. Um,
Mhm.
so spaceships want to go fast. So what makes things go fast? Card cost reduction. I think
Mm.
Milano should be what I say? -1 energy to all cards in your hand.
Mm.
There's no effect like that. It's like the Elysium's all your whole deck, right? But Milano just
Or
it kind of be like Wakandan Embassy, just -1 to everyone in your hand.
if they love turn 5 with this thing so much, on turn 5, -2 to all cards, or something like that,
Yeah,
because
that could
Elysium, we have -1 to all cards, right?
yeah, yeah,
So how about only on turn 5, -2 to all cards,
yeah,
airbase cards?
yeah,
Then
or
turn 5 just gets
-1.
whack. Turn 5 gets a little bit
Or
wacky. That'd be kind of
yeah,
fun.
or even -1 to all the cards because there's also the was it? I can't think of the one, but the one I hate where on turn 5 all cards cost 1 more.
Oh, it
Milano
costs
could be
one
on
more, yeah.
turn yeah, on turn 5 all cards cost 1 less, or
That's
2
the
less like you
MODOK,
said.
the MODOK killer, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that would be great. Not oppressive and more fun for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
good.
so Sandbar, kind of like Sandman flavor. My idea was you can only play one card per turn on this location.
Mm.
So it's still a little bit oppressive, I guess, but at least you can still play cards there, and you can
I
still
like that
like
a
have
lot, actually.
Doctor Doom
There's
fly
nothing
in.
in the game like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
So I was like,
Mhm.
it's kind of like flavorful, right? They still got like Sandbar, Sandman, one card per turn, but only one card per turn in this location. So you can't like dump in
Mhm.
that location. So like it would
Yeah,
make
it's
things like
similar to
Nebula kind of better, but
it's similar well, yeah, but it should, right? That's the whole
yeah,
point of locations, right? It makes certain cards better, certain cards
yeah,
worse, right? Like zoo
exactly.
type cards, kitty bounce shit is worse there.
Yeah,
But like big high rolled kind of decks want to play expensive cards are good. Sandman decks obviously love it.
yeah,
But yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like that. That sounds awesome.
yeah. So I think that'd be pretty cool. And
So there's
then
there
this is
okay, there's the one where you play can't play your first card there. So it'd kind of be similar to that, right? Where
Morag.
you have to, it kind of restricts how many cards you can play there. Uh,
Yeah, but at least you can
yeah.
play a card there every turn if you wanted
Yeah.
to. Morag, you
And then even
can't.
to balance, yeah, to balance that out, that deck would be that one's kind of good for the low roll decks that play a bunch of small cards. This one be more good for a deck that plays a bunch of big cards. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's awesome.
Plunder.
That sounds
My
perfect.
my Plunder Castle idea is the
Yeah.
most out there one.
All right, let's
Um,
do it.
and it's kind of along the lines of Fogwell's Gym, the one that everyone gets double boosters.
Mhm.
I think this would be really fun for people to play in. Not, obviously not competitive, but if this came up, um, if both players fill this location, get 50 gold at the end of the match.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like you're plundering, right? You're like
Plunder, yeah.
yeah, you're getting loot, but both players have to fill the location in order for you to get it. So
Yeah,
it would kind of be a fun
yeah.
thing. Like maybe I don't know if second would ever do that. Giving maybe it could be credits, whatever it is, but gold. Maybe it's 20 gold, whatever. I don't care.
Plunder
Um,
does feel like it has to be gold, right?
yeah, yeah, I know. Like, and then so maybe like you have like a one cost in there, and like you have a Sarah, or like you have a Killmonger. Like, do you want to play the Killmonger, or do you want the gold? It would have these
What
like
if
weird situations. It
so
should be
that's a
fun.
genius I think that's a genius idea.
That'd be
Let me
fun.
throw something else at you that's the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
thing, but maybe better, but also maybe a lot worse.
Hit me, hit me.
What if instead of ever you have to fill the location because it's kind of like the raft, right?
Yeah.
You're saying it's the raft, but instead of a zero cost card, you get gold. That sounds
And I
pretty
think
sick.
yeah, and I think like both players have to fill the location. Like at the end of
Yeah.
the game, the location has to be filled with 8 cards.
How about this? Whoever
Yeah.
wins this location gets gold at the end of the game. So do you
That
play
would
for
be
the gold or do you play
yeah,
for the win?
for the cubes. That would be great.
I think you always play for the gold, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I don't even matter, but it kind of makes losing a little bit better too. It almost improves your. So what if you lose the game, but you still get the gold? It's kind of nice.
Yeah. That would be awesome actually. Or that would be hilarious.
It's a little
Or
bit
just like
chaotic, but I kind of like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too. Even for like I like both those ideas actually. Like just giving us more stuff for like playing in these
Yeah,
locations
it could be
instead
10
of
gold. Like you said, just make it 10 gold, but
yeah, make it
it's still
something
going to change the dynamic of the game, right?
yeah, and it's still gonna be fun because like you're gonna be happy about that location. You're not gonna be like, oh, I can't play my card there. It's like, oh, maybe I can get some gold out of this too.
Yeah,
And it's a
plunder.
location that I
Yeah,
can just play in that's like not restrictive.
let's plunder this castle. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe people just put
I
like
like it.
Iron Man onslaught and everything, just go all in that one lane and don't care about the game.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
exactly. I think that'd be hilarious.
it would be hilarious. It
It'd be
would
good
make
for
for good
content too, like for the
yeah,
content creators
I was just gonna say
and
that. I was gonna
streamers.
say
Like, yeah, you're going hard on plunder castles, like just for the content.
you have people donating in chat to go for a Plunder
Yeah,
Castle.
yeah,
Oh, that's
that
great.
sounds
Or
great.
like,
I love that.
yeah, or even like a location like doesn't have to be Plunder Castle. Like if you get over 25 in this location, or if you get over 30 in this location, you get
Mhm.
this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be pretty cool too if you could meet a certain threshold. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the amount of power you have in this location, you get that much gold at the end of the game. You
Oh,
know?
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Shang-Chi people's dreams away.
Yeah.
Or oh, people get so mad with Galactus.
Even just like, like Scarlet Witch,
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, Reality Stone. That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious. But anyways,
yeah.
I think like that direction's just awesome. That's just more fun, you know.
Scar yeah, Reality Stone into E mode, into spam emotes.
Yeah, exactly. The new Galactus,
Yeah, I love that.
the crush your dreams deck.
It just sounds
Um,
funner for sure. It sounds like if that location's in the
yeah,
game, I'm having a little bit more fun than I would have otherwise for sure.
exactly. Not like
Yeah,
only six cost cards can be played here. What a load of
yeah,
shit that is. Oh, I hate. I'm
yeah. I
so
don't like
glad
that.
it's so much better not having these in the game.
Mhm,
So let's talk about probably our last topic here.
mhm.
Living Tribunal.
I'm
Uh,
kind of like really
what do you
intrigued
think?
by this card, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was definitely thinking about buying it, and
I'm glad
again,
you
I looked
didn't.
at the move. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but I looked at the move cards. I was like, man, maybe I just won't play move. I'll just play Living Tribunal.
Yeah,
But I went into the deck, like deck building, and I just tried
yeah,
to make a deck with it, and I'll just make 11 card deck, Living Tribunal, and I
yeah.
couldn't do it. I couldn't crack
No,
the
I know.
code. I couldn't figure it out. I spent like 10 minutes. I figured you're gonna need like onslaught, Iron Man, and you're gonna need to like turbo that out. I think it has to be ongoing cards because you don't want to get owned by Cosmo or something, or
Yeah,
someone just put Cosmo in your lane. If you're doing like some Black Panther or whatever shit like that,
yeah,
I don't think that's gonna work because I think, or like Arnim Zola, whatever, like and Mister Negative, Arnim Zola. I think you need ongoing, but that's just you could hide ongoing cards behind either Invisible Woman or Cosmo,
yeah,
and they're basically totally safe at that point. Somehow ramp into an Iron Man onslaught type of situation. And
yeah,
I just couldn't. The decks I was building. I'm like, this is never gonna work. This is never gonna work. This is shit. And I was like, all right, I'm not buying the card.
yeah. I think he's too niche. Honestly, I'll just be upfront. I think he's a pile of shit right now.
Yeah.
Especially in this with all the cards we have released now. Maybe if there's new cards in the future that are better for him,
Hmm.
maybe. But I think he's just way. And again, I don't have him clearly. I'm not never gonna see me spending 6K tokens on him. Um,
Hmm.
I think what hurts him is the fact that he's a six cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
if he
maybe if
was
he was
like
more, maybe
maybe
if he was more power though. Like, what if maybe if he was a 6'8", it'd be like a lot better because the whole thing is the power, right? So
yeah,
if he could tune up his power. I mean, he doesn't. He could be 6'10". Like you don't care about Shang Chi with this guy. So
no, and I think that I mean if you get Shang-Chi, then your whole plan is done. But I think he's just
yeah,
like he's like he's like the Gambit Exodia combo. Like he's like you have to draw your combo. Like
I think if anything gets Shang Chi, you're dead with this deck
yeah.
because that's
Well,
power off all three locations. You just Shang
yeah.
Chi three locations.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's like I don't know. It's just you have to have the combo. You're not going to play a deck where you're getting build enough power without, like you said, Iron Man onslaught. These high power that you have to ramp. You have to cheat out with like Lockjaw. It's just it will never be good.
Yeah, maybe I'm no, maybe I'm not thinking about it right. Like maybe I don't know,
Yeah.
Shuri Hulk. I don't know. Well, Hulk's ongoing though, right? So does that even? I don't know. That's
And Hulk's
40.
Hulk's a six cost.
I mean, shit. If I put out 50 power on a location, that's like what, like 17, 17, 17. I'm probably still losing the game at that point, right?
That's what I mean. It's not that good.
Yeah. And if someone against you is playing evolutionary and they start to minus your cards, like they're hitting all three locations.
Especially if you have Iron Man in a deck.
Yeah.
Then it's like
Oh god, yeah. Then it's
doubly.
then it's double. Yeah, double the
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't think he's good.
It ain't it. Unfortunately. Yeah.
I think he has a really cool animation. I think it's a really cool effect, and I hope that he can get tuned in the future. That maybe he can work sometimes. Because like for oppressive locations, like if you have Sanctum, like
Hmm.
he could win that pretty easily,
Easily. Yeah.
But then you got to win one of the other lanes somehow, and like it's just too easy with all the decks to get like 20 power. It's too
I
easy to get
think
20 power in a lane.
I
The
think
whole
his home
one
is
person will do 20.
yeah. And for that reason, I think his home is gonna end up being in control list. Um, but I mean, right now, if you're gonna play control, may as well just play Evo control, right? But
Yeah,
I think because if you can start locking down lanes, and then he can access those lanes, right? So
yeah.
I think because I don't know if there's a way in the game to reliably get out enough power right now to make him just
No,
outright just win by overpowering. I think you're
I
just
don't
gonna
think
have to
so.
start Storm and Spider Man and Professor X start locking down lanes and slam a Tribunal and just win the lockdown lanes.
Yeah, but then you're wasting 6 energy for that. Like, maybe Doctor Doom
Yeah,
is just better at that point.
yeah. I mean, I think it clearly is right now for sure. Doctor Doom's a really good card,
Or if you
and
lock
this
down a
card is
lane,
not a really good
yeah.
card.
Or if you lock down a lane, you played Jeff and then a 4 drop on turn 6 instead of him. It's
Mhm.
probably better,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
I
know.
agree. I agree. Right? I can't argue with
So,
that.
like, I think it's just sad because he's really cool. It's a
Yeah.
cool effect. It's a cool effect. I really like it. I like it. I think it'd just be very niche. I think it'll be cool to see. I'm happy to see highlights on it. People doing
Mhm.
wild stuff, getting the Iron Man onslaught ramping out, like lock drawing, and getting you get those Mr. Negative games sometimes you get like 1,000 power in a lane.
Yeah. I was
you
thinking
know?
too. You know how you normally in a like a hell because I'm a filthy hella enjoyer. You know that,
Yeah, you are.
and
Yeah.
I'm thinking because normally in Hella you have to run cards like Captain Marvel and Doctor Doom because Hella gives you no control over where the cards end up. But if you just run Tribunal, you could do,
Yeah.
Infinite, Hulk, just all of the cards that have the most Iron Man for sure. Probably Iron Man and Iron Lad, honestly. And I don't want to spend 6K to just maybe test out this niche Hella deck that probably still doesn't work. But that sounds kind of interesting to me because you just play your Hella, she spits out everything. It goes evenly. You're probably putting out like 70-ish power, maybe 60,
Yeah.
70 power. So that could be enough. You get 22 in each lane or something.
That's
Might be
that's
might be enough.
that's what's that's what people are doing right now. If you're looking at the highlights,
Oh,
that's
are
the
they?
main
Okay,
thing
I
people
didn't
are
see.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had
Yeah, they're
Dream
doing
Dimension, so maybe it
but
supercharged that, right? With Dream Dimension, especially, it's gonna be crazy, right?
no, there was no Dream Dimension when this card
Oh,
that
okay.
wasn't out.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what people are doing. But then, like, if you think about it, one, you got to get your hella combo, which is,
stuff.
uh, yeah, it's not a good deck to begin with because of that.
Yeah,
Two, if you do get the combo off, is he really going to matter if he's in it, or would you rather have like a Doctor Doom instead of him, or would you
yeah,
rather
yeah.
have like another
That's the
Giganto
question.
or
Yeah.
something? Who are you cutting for him?
Yeah, the nice
Um,
thing with the Doom too is you could run Doctor Doom and then you could run Odin as well, right? And then Odin could hit your discard cards as well, or your
yeah,
Jubilee procs your Odin. Jubilee procs Odin, then Jubilee fires out another card, and it's a
yeah.
high roll deck. So you kind of lose all this stuff when you throw in Living Tribunal. And you're just playing kind of boring raw power, and yeah, I don't know if it's good. It sounds like the same problem you're saying, where it's just you really just need a very specific combo, and most decks that
Yeah.
are like that are just kind of bad in this game, honestly.
Yeah, which is fine because
Mhm.
they're fun decks, and I'm sure he'll be
Yeah,
fun to do that kind of stuff with. But like,
yeah,
would I recommend anybody paying 6,000 tokens for him? Absolutely not.
yeah.
Even 3,000, I don't know. I would not. I don't. I won't pay 3,000 for him. I
No,
don't think.
I'll buy Jeff over him.
100. Oh, 100%.
Let's wait for Jeff
100%.
to drop, and we'll pull the
But
trigger on the
I
GIF.
I think he has the Nimrod problem where he's just a little too much cost. That if he was
Yeah, I
like
think
a
Nimrod.
little,
Yeah, Nimrod could clearly be a 4. This guy might be busted out of 5 though. But if they tone his power down, it's not as bad.
yeah, tone it down,
Maybe
man.
make
I
him
don't
like
know.
make him like a 5-4. Maybe I think that'll be
But
fine.
again, I'm talking out of my ass. It was just released a couple
Mhm,
days ago, so it's like I don't know. We'll
mhm.
see.
Yeah,
We'll see in
yeah,
a few months. When it really what you can tell with these cards, like once they're in pool 3 and everyone gets their hands on them,
yeah.
that's when you can start to see like when things need to
Mhm,
be changed or not. Because like you have
mhm.
to have a limited subset of people playing with them. It's not like you'll never
Yeah, and everybody just blew their
know.
load on High EVO, so nobody's got tokens for this guy now.
Yeah. Rightfully so. He's worth the
Yeah.
6K. He's fun.
Oh my
And
god,
I
so
don't think
fun.
he's not like overpowered or anything like that. The cards are
Mhm.
strong, but like I think it's now that it's been a week, I think it's a fair deck. But it's just a lot of fun and it can open up a lot of different kinds of decks.
I think it's a little bit OP personally, but
It's still early. It's still early.
I'd like them to leave it alone at least like a month, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, like let's play the next season, make the Galactus change, and then if it's like 30% high Evo and the win rate's crazy, then okay. But hopefully they at least let them breathe for like a month,
Yeah,
and
he's
let's see what happens. But I do think it's slightly overpowered. I don't think it's crazy, and I think they'd only have to
yeah.
touch up like Hulk and Wasp basically, like we were saying. So I think kind of slightly touch those, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think like he's just wait, and we'll see. And
yeah.
he's a 4/4. He's so bad. He's so bad to have in your hand and to draw.
Oh
It's
God,
like
what a
just a
brick!
dead draw. And when you got to play him on 4, like it just feels so sad.
Having a
But
hard brick in a 12 card game,
yeah,
it does
yeah.
feel pretty rough for sure.
That's
Yeah,
why I don't think he's like overpowered because like that for that,
yeah.
you know, that scenario specifically, you're like, oh my
Mhm.
god, just brick him. And again, like we were saying before, even if you shockered him and he was 3, like it's still horrible. You don't want to play it.
Well, that's the argument for Orca over Hulk, right? Where it's like, hey,
Oh.
Orca is
Mm-hmm.
16, and you don't have to run a 4/4 brick in your deck to play.
Yeah, that's the
So
only
that's
thing.
that's all he has
Orca.
going for him at this point.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll no stonks this week because the OTAs skipped this week, so we'll skip the stonks.
Yeah.
Also the meta is pretty healthy. Do you have anything that you want to say for stonks? I mean, I don't know. I would say not
No, it's
stonks is Luke Cage. He's gonna, as everything. I
yeah, Luke
mentioned Luke
Cage is
Cage every
crushing
week.
everybody. It is what it is. I haven't even played too much this week too, so I
Yeah.
don't want to act like I know what's going on
No.
in the streets. Also, the infinite meta is just ridiculous. Nobody's playing Galactus, but if you're playing 90 rank 93 to 100, it's like 60% Galactus. So I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even tell what are stonks anymore because I'm just not playing against the meta. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. People are just playing wild shit, so I can't
Yeah.
even tell if stuff's good or not. I just play Thanos up there, and it just wins, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
We'll do stonks with the changes. That way we can try and predict. It's better. If there's no
Yeah, for
changes,
sure.
like what we can't
Mhm.
predict, it's more fun to do it that way.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
so yeah, I would say, to the 2 to 3 people that listen to this podcast, if you ever want to talk about or hear any of us idiots talk about anything, just leave a comment somewhere. Our YouTube channel at the Super Snap Bros. We're actually in that stage where we have no one, so we'll listen to everything.
It'll be very easy to read. It's not too much reading for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're
Yeah,
not world famous yet.
yeah,
Um, but
true.
yeah, I'm excited. Season ends in 4 days. Then it's
Mhm.
move season, baby. Oh, I'm gonna be so pumped. And Spider Man, who's my favorite Marvel character.
That's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, the
Mhm.
move's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. You got anything else to say?
I wonder how good it'll be with just the one card at the beginning,
That card's gonna be good. The
or how
Ghost
popular.
Spider.
Mhm.
Oh, Ghost Spider's gonna be. I think it's gonna be wild.
The
Because
card seems not.
cards just gonna be moving all over the place. You're not gonna know what to do. It's gonna be so
Yeah.
confusing. It's gonna be hilarious.
The card
You're gonna
text is
think
like the opposite of Tribunal. You read that, you're like, "Oh my god, this is insane."
yeah, you're gonna think you won a lane, and then nope, whoop, it's gonna push him
Yeah.
over. It's
Oh
gonna be
god.
hilarious. I wonder. Oh no, you're not gonna kingpin your own cards. I was like, I wonder if kingpin's gonna be a thing, but no, you're not gonna kingpin your own card. That's just stupid.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
mhm.
All right, bro. Oh, next week I'll be in your town. You have a
Oh, true.
bachelor party.
True.
So I don't know if we'll do. Maybe I'll come over to your place and we'll just get like an audio podcast done on Thursday.
Yeah.
Um,
We
we'll
could
see
be in
because
this.
I fly.
I could fit you here easily.
Yeah, I fly in on Thursday, so we can do
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
That could be fun. But yeah, it won't be any video podcast next week, and um, no big deals. The bachelor life is over.
Yeah, man. It's been a good run. Yeah,
It's
I'm
been a
excited.
good run. All right. Well, I'll see you, and I'll talk to you obviously later, and I'll see you next week, bro.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right, take it easy.
everyone.
Take care.
Peace. Yep.
Peace.